it is officially day 108 of the WGA strike and day 35 of the SAG-AFTRA strike. As a SAG-AFTRA member, I have very much of the same concerns as a lot of the other actors. Low streaming residuals, AI regulations, and more transparency when it comes to us getting paid. But there's a lot to this strike, and there's a lot I don't know. I just want to keep up on the issues and know what we're doing all this for. I wanted to compile a best hits collection, a highlight reel, if you will, all the best bits of the top actors and writers speaking out about the strike. I figured if there was anyone who's going to get us out of this, it's going to be the ones who've been leading our industry for decades, and some of whom have actually been in the negotiation room. This is kind of a rare glimpse hearing the actors and writers talk about their industry in this way. This strike is not about them, but they're still marching in solidarity with their other guild members. They're trying to preserve the middle class of this industry, and also it's the right thing to do. And sadly, we might not see much of these stars because this strike might go on for a while. The goal of this video is to educate, inspire, and it's going to be mostly positive.
Listen to me, motherfucker.
Well, mostly. Some of these people are really famous. Some people, kind of famous. Some are mad as hell.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
And you might even see one dog. I don't know if this strike is going to go the way we want it to. I hope it will. I hope we get a fair contract at the end of this. I hope we see a way forward for the future of our industry. But what I can guarantee, none of this has been brought to you by AI. Let's go!
We've got a message for Mr. Iger. I know, sir, that you look through things through a different lens. We don't expect you to understand who we are, but we ask you to hear us, and beyond that, to listen to us when we tell you we will not be having our jobs taken away and giving to robots. We will not have you take away our right to work and earn a decent living. And lastly, and most importantly, we will not allow you to take away our dignity.
Greed turns some of the smartest people on this planet into the biggest fools. We're talking of very few select people who are in the offices thinking how best to play this. And I tell you one thing, those people that are making the choices on behalf of the corporations are not feeling and will not feel any personal pinch through this time or the next few months. The personal pinch is being felt by every person on the picket line here today. Their families are under jeopardy. Their ability to provide is under jeopardy. It's absolutely unconscionable. And when I say greed makes really smart people foolish, I mean they're short-sighted. When I get people on their knees so that we'll come to the table and not get the agreement that we need to get. But there's another profit. There's a social and a cultural profit that can be made, that can be earned by doing the right thing. And they need to start changing the way they look at the world. And they need to realize that they have a responsibility not only to their shareholders and not only to their board members, but they have a responsibility to the actors, they have a responsibility to the people that work in their offices, they have a responsibility to the means of production that they earn so much money of. And that's where the civic and that's where the moral sensibility is lost.
When I made a show for Netflix, I was sitting in a room with the executive producers and they said, hey, good news, because we're on Netflix and we're doing this comedy variety show, we can do anything we want with writers. We can hire and fire them by the day. We can pay them $1 a week if we want. Isn't that great? And all the other executive producers were like, oh wow, flexibility, that's what we love as managers. I was like, this is how they talk about the people who really get fucked.
I am shocked by the way the people that we have been in business with are treating us. How far apart we are on so many things. How they plead poverty, that they're losing money left and right when giving hundreds of millions of dollars to their CEOs. Shame on them. They stand on the wrong side of history. You cannot change the business model as much as it has changed and not expect the contract to change too. We're not going to keep doing incremental changes on a contract that no longer honors what is happening right now with this business model that was foisted upon us. So the jig is up, AMPTP. We are labor and we stand tall and we demand respect and to be honored for our contribution. You share the wealth because you cannot exist without us.
I think that when Bob Iger talks about what a shame it is
he needs to remember that in 1980, CEOs like him made 30 times what their lowest worker was making. Now Bob Iger makes 400 times what his lowest worker is. And I think that's a shame, Bob. And maybe you should take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, why is that? And not only why is that, is it okay? Is it morally okay? Is it ethically okay that you make that much more than your lowest worker? And if so, why? Why is that okay? If your response is that that's just the way business is done now, that's just the way corporations work now, well, that sucks, and that makes you a person if that's your answer.
What do you think about actors who've asked for waivers to keep promoting their movies?
Don't. It's a strike.
Yeah.
Be on strike. You lose, we lose, everybody loses. That's tough shit. Sometimes you have to do the hard thing.
I'm a member of every guild there is, including the Producers Guild. Look, is it right that somebody can create a series or direct a series or star in a series that is spread out so far and wide that you end up working for a lot less money for something that is actually profitable? There's no question that this has to be figured out now. Strikes used to happen because a new thing was coming down the pike.
So it has to be worked out.
It does have to be. It has to be worked out, and it has to be worked out in an ecumenical way.
So I'd point out the fact that David Zazlav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, which is, the parent company of the network I'm talking to you on right now, was paid $250 million last year, $250 million. That's about the same level as what 10,000 writers are asking him to pay all of us collectively, all right? So I would say if you're being paid $250 million, Ted Sarandos made about $50 million last year. These companies are making enormous amounts of money. Their profits are going up. It's ridiculous for them to plead poverty.
They created a model that everyone else followed, which is we're gonna buy you out. We're gonna pay for your services for a cycle, which would be 3 months. And it doesn't matter if you watch that show once or you watch it 100 times. You're not gonna get any more money because more people watch it. The only person that makes more money is the person who licensed that to Netflix. And when it was the #1 show on Netflix, they're able to make a significant profit off of that. But that doesn't trickle down to the blue-collar actor like me.
Okay, so I'm on the negotiating committee. That's the truth. Our process for coming up with what to ask for is called the W&Ws, the Wages and Working Conditions. In Los Angeles, we held 20 meetings. 6 hours apiece. Any member in good standing could come in and say, this is what's wrong. They're paying me late. They're paying me late. And then we come up with proposals. Then we get together in our plenary. Our plenary comes around. Usually they budget a day and a half, 2 days to get through stuff. We spent 8 12 to 14 hour days. And so now we put together this proposal packet, but we looked at it, and the overriding thought I had when I saw it all was this is reasonable. A modest increase in pay. Revenue sharing. Fix the residuals formula. Deal with the self-tape casting nightmare.
I have the honor to present David Zazlav for Boston University's honorary degree.
I now call upon Dr. David Zazlav to deliver the 150th commencement address of Boston University.
Wow. I couldn't be more excited to be here with all of you. If you want to be successful, you're going to have to figure out how to get along with everyone. And that includes difficult people. Some people
these corporate CEOs don't really care. So look at this. Staff pay for 9 weeks is about $5,000, and that's about $45,000 gross. Most people who are staffed on shows have an agent or a manager, right? That's 20% of your commissions there. So that's about $9,000, right? Then you have to pay your dues to your union, which gives you your health care and things like that. That's about $675. And then you got your taxes, 20%, that's about another $9K. So you take home $26,000. It could be 6 months between gigs, it could be 12 months between gigs.
But streaming got to get that together. I don't understand how you get paid off of that. I mean, can somebody explain to me how you can get 1 billion streams and not get $1 million? Like, I don't know who the running the streaming industry, if you in here or not, but You need to give us some information on how to track this money down. Because 1 + 1 ain't adding up to 2. That don't add up. When I first came out, my records would sell based off of physical. If you sold 1 million copies, that means if $9.99, $9 million, you get this percentage. The writers are striking because streaming, they can't get paid. Because when it's on the platform, it's not like in the box office. In the box office, if it does all these numbers, you may get an up. Oh, it did this many, here's another check. But on streaming, you got 300,000 hours that somebody watched your movie. Where's the money?
They don't seem to think that we're valuable at all. And in a society, in a place right now where UPS workers are asking for air conditioning, Starbucks workers are trying to not get burned, Amazon workers are just trying to get hours in the day and longer breaks, it seems like it's a real bigger thing and not just about us.
We deserve to work together to make beautiful art so people can enjoy it. It's like these people haven't seen fucking Succession. It's about you.
Netflix had a little bit of an Uber strategy, which was, first, we will be the monopolist, and second of all, we'll do it by undercutting everybody else. They destroyed all of it to chase cord cutting. By the way, cord cutting is such a fucking lie. There's still a cord going into your house. You're still paying the cable company. The worry is that the companies are going to use this mediocre technology that does one thing kind of well, and they're going to try to use it to undermine our wages and working conditions. They're going to say, hey, guess what? ChatGPT output this script. Couple problems with it though. Would you punch it up? And would you take our notes? And would you go talk to the director and the actor? And would you go to set? And would you go to post? Except that you're not a writer on the show or movie. ChatGPT is the writer. One of the AMPTP's actual proposals to the actors was that when a background actor show up to set, they'd be paid a half day's or 1 day's wages. They'd be scanned into an AI or whatever you want to call it, and then the company would own their likeness and performance in perpetuity and could use it in any film until, like, after the actor is dead. We put in our proposals 2 very straightforward proposals about AI. We just said that we cannot be forced to adapt the work that an AI, that a so-called AI produces. Its work cannot be passed off as our work product. 2 pretty simple proposals. They refused to even discuss them.
They were trying to say that there was no money in the internet and they should be able to stream and there should be no residuals there and we shouldn't have any piece of whatever. We should just stick to broadcast. And you can see the incredible dishonesty. Now what they're saying is the exact same thing when it comes to AI. Hey, listen, we don't know if AI is going to be able to write scripts or not. We don't know if there's any money in that. Just trust us for another 3 years and we'll come back and we'll talk about this. Every strike is a game of chicken. Who can last? The only thing I think that is to their disadvantage, honestly, is how angry writers are. You know, a few years ago, 1/3 of all writers were working at the minimum. Now it's half. Writers are actually earning less than we were a decade ago. Shorter seasons. Everything's not 22 episodes anymore. Now it's 8 or 10. Although they take longer to make, they have more production value. The writing is more complex. You're writing without commercials, so it's 58 minutes, not 43. And that means we're making less for doing as much work.
The motherfucker who said we're going to keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and their apartments. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. Some of it is financial. Some of it is karma. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. You wish that on people. You wish that families starve while you're making $27 fucking million a year for creating nothing. Be careful, motherfucker, because that's the kind of shit that stirs shit up.
Years, mate. We're nothing without it. Yeah, totally. No. Everything's back to drama school. Like, it's not like I was performing my own monologues. Do you know what I mean? Every audition I've ever done, every commercial, it's always been off the backs of the creativity of writers. They are the genesis of all that we do.
You know, we all really feel like the world is fucked up, and we have the opportunity here to go and actually fix one of them with our collective action. Like, the Guild is asking me to come out here every day and picket for 4 hours. And if I do that, I can help stop Teamster trucks from going into that building, and we can halt productions, and that'll shorten the strike, and that'll make them come to the table, and that'll make them cut the workers in on their profits, and I get to actually move the boulder of how fucked up things are in America by showing up here with a sign. How many issues are there that you care about, that you would like to do something about, but there's nowhere you can show up with a sign to do it? You don't get these opportunities often in life to step up and actually fucking do something.
I hope you guys liked the video. And if you want to learn some ways that you can help your acting career even when it's slow, like during a strike, check this video out.